How's it going, friends? Reckless Yuki here. Hope you guys do a fantastic. Thank you guys very much for checking out the video. I do greatly appreciate it. And in this video, we're going to be doing a product review of these, which are a pair of Bragi Dash. And these have to be the most amazing wireless earbuds I have ever used. Now, these aren't mine. I'm basically borrowing these from a friend who was very kind enough to let me borrow these for the past 2 weeks so that I had plenty of time to get familiar with them to make this review for you guys. And my friend was able to back these guys up 2 years ago on Kickstarter, and he's been waiting a long time to get these, and he is very ecstatic to finally have these, but there are some quirks that I noticed with them. And this video isn't necessarily going to be a very detailed review as far as every little detailed spec feature that these are able to provide, and this is definitely not going to be a review to teach you how to use these. What I'm basically trying to do in this video is to discuss the pros and cons that I found with these, some of the quirks that I found with them, to let you guys know everything that I've noticed, so that if you purchase some and you decide to spend the MSRP, which is $300, if you decide to spend that amount, you won't be disappointed or you won't be surprised by something. So you could kind of weigh the pros and cons of these with that price point. So that's the goal of this video. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, the features that I want to talk about of this product, I'm going to basically go off a cheat sheet I have in front of me to make sure I don't forget anything, because I wrote some notes about these. I'm going to go over track performance, audio transparency, phone calls, battery, Bluetooth, music storage, the waterproof feature of these, some things that I've found, some like quirks with the tap controls, and then also just some other various difficulties that I noticed with these earbuds. Now, like I said, these earbuds are MSRP at $300, and that can buy you a lot of things. You know, like these little earbuds are really cool, and it has a lot of features packed in, especially for the active users out there. That's what it's really targeted for, is the active people who want to be in control and still keep in touch with their phone and their music, but not necessarily want to have anything hands-free or tangling them up. And, you know, these are nice. Like I said at the beginning, these are the most amazing earbuds I've ever used, but it also comes at a very amazing price. If you're really wanting something that has really great audio quality, you might want to pass up on these, because I don't think they're the best. These are basically for people who want to listen to their music or enjoy their music while on the go. So it's not really meant to sit down and really listen to every little detail of your music. For $300, you could buy something like these, which are a pair of Philips Fidelio X2s. Amazing set of headphones. I absolutely love these. And these will sound like a ton times better than what these would sound. But for what these are, these sound like great for just wireless earbuds that go over Bluetooth. So don't expect the best quality of audio with these, but they're definitely far from the worst that I've ever used. I will say that these are almost on par with the little Apple earbuds that you'll get from an iPhone. Those are the earbuds that most people are familiar with. Those actually don't sound that bad, and they sound pretty good, especially if you're out on the go where you're not really paying full attention to the music you're listening to. You have a lot of your other sensories kind of interfering with that, so it's just basically something to kind of give you some sort of entertainment as you're commuting or on the go or doing your, like, whatever sort of workout that you want to be doing. So let's talk about the track performance. The track performance can basically monitor your heart rate, steps, duration, calories, distance, pull laps, breaths, cadence, and also other things as the firmware is updated. And if you're curious about the firmware that I'm using with these, I'm using firmware 2.0. So at the time of this recording, there could be new things that could be introduced to these or some new features, but at the time, those are the ones that I've noticed and that I've been able to find on the website. Now, as far as how does this track, there's basically an app with a phone that you're able to connect to, and on there will show you all the, basically display all the information you need, as well as if you hold the left earbud and you can navigate these controls, it will tell you, like a female's voice will basically tell you what you're doing and how you're doing. So that's something pretty cool as you're on the go. You don't necessarily need to fumble with your phone to look at it. You could just basically tap the earbud and it will tell you the information right in your ear. So it's a pretty cool thing. Now let's talk about the feature that's called audio transparency. And what the hell is audio transparency? Basically what that is that the earbuds have these little microphones on the outside of the earbuds to basically listen to your surrounding. And if you have audio transparency turned on, what it'll basically do is listen to the outside area and then funnel that information or that noise or that sound through the earphones to your ears. So basically, it won't be blocking out sounds. It will actually allow sounds to funnel in through your music, so that you can still be aware of your surroundings, which I think is super important, especially if you're cycling or possibly running on public roads, or even just for general commuting, because being aware of people around you, your surroundings, I think is very important, not only to yourself, but also to others, to ensure safety for all. Is something that I think is very cool, and one thing that I really like about these earbuds. And it doesn't necessarily need to be limited to people who are doing like physical activity out in public. It could also just be for anyone who's like transiting to work. If you are a type of person who lives in a large city and you need to walk to a train station or walk through public transit, you're still able to maintain awareness of your surroundings with this feature. And I think it's something that is pretty cool. And one thing I noticed about these, though, is kind of weird as you use the feature, because if you hear something in a distance, or like let's say you're doing something and you know, like basically the depth of field as far as how far that should sound, when you have this on, it basically makes it as if like the sound is just like right up to your ear. So it listens to it, it amplifies the sound, and then sends it directly to your ear. So it kind of throws off your depth of field as far as for listening. So that's something that could be something to be, that you're going to have to get used to. If a car comes up behind you, it could sound like it's coming up a lot closer than it actually is. So, just be aware of that when you do use these. But it's a great feature just to make sure that, a car is coming up behind you, especially if you're cycling. Just a feature that I really, really enjoy with these. And if you use these while you're streaming music from your device, one thing I'll make sure that you do is don't max out the volume of your device. Basically limit your device to, let's say, 50 to 75%, and then control the volume with the Bragi itself, because this basically has two separate volume controls. The volume of your device is what's sent to the Bragi, and then the volume of the Bragi is what's sent to your ear. So if it's only receiving 75% of the music from here, or the 50%, then you would have to crank up the volume of the Bragi a little bit. And what that will allow you to do is, as the outside noises are channeling from the external mics into your ear, that volume mainly stays the same related to the volume of the Bragi itself, so that your streaming music won't overpower those sounds, so that you're still able to maintain awareness. So that's just something that I've noticed with this, that you want to be considered, or basically concern yourself with when you're using it, to ensure that you are able to use the audio transparency feature. So the next feature of these headphones is phone calls. And what's cool about these headphones is that there's no external mic, or their external mic isn't necessarily to capture your voice. This device has two microphones associated with it. It has an external microphone for the audio transparency, and then it has a bone microphone. So as the device is stuck in your ear, it's able to detect the sound waves that you're speaking with like the bones in your ear, and then it translates that into the microphone to be sent to your phone, so that the other person can hear you. And supposedly in the previous firmwares, this was a little kind of wanky, but it's improved over the firmwares. And as I was talking on the phone with people, they noticed that it sounded very good. Like, they didn't have any problems listening to me. Now, it might not be the best solution out there, but the reason why they decided to go about it this way is so that if you're using, or if you're doing an activity that's forcing you to be at a high rate of speed, you're not going to get a bunch of wind noise blowing into the mic like you would if you were using like an Apple earbud with that little dangly mic on the cord itself. It really limits the outside interferences just so that they could hear your voice. So that, I think, is something pretty cool. And the person on the other side, when I was speaking to them, they said they could hear me just fine. They said that it was clear enough where it wasn't mumbled or anything. So I think that they really did a good job with that. And as far as how you accept or unaccept phone calls, you can have it set up where you just have to tap the earbud itself, or you can set it up where head gestures will be able to allow you to accept or unaccept phone calls. So if you want to accept a phone call, you can set up so you shake your head up and down. Or if you don't, you just shake it left and right, and then that's how you accept or not accept phone calls. So, I mean, it's pretty cool to ensure that you're able to stay hands-free while you're doing the functions that you're doing or whatever activity that you're doing, while still be able to maintain contact with the outside world so that you're not going to basically be in this dark zone where people can't contact you. You'll still be able to get contacted, especially if you needed to be contacted if something was coming up. So pretty cool feature with this phone as far as for phone calls. All right, so now let's talk about the battery and the charge time associated with this product. Now, with this product, there are 3 batteries, one in each earpiece, as well as one battery for the basically case, docking station, and charger. And what this basically is this has a battery that is used in order to charge each earpiece. And each earpiece is able to go for about 3 hours of use before you have to recharge the earpieces. And this docking station can recharge the earpieces up to 5 times per the docking station's charge. And the docking station will take about 2 hours in order to charge the earpieces. So what that means is that you need to plan on only using these for about 3 hours, and then not needing to use them for about at least 2 hours after you depleted the battery before you could use them again. So it's perfect for the person who's trying to just stay active or do some sort of physical exercise, or even just commuting to and from work, where after you're done with your commute or done with your activity, you just put it in the charging station, and when you need to do something again that you want to listen to them, then they should be fully charged. So this won't be for someone who wants to basically use them for like a flight in an airplane, or for, like, let's say you're going on a road trip with people and you just want to use these to listen to your device or listen to your phone. That's not what this will be for, and you won't really enjoy it that much because of the limited time that you're able to use it, just because it will only last, like I said, 3 hours, and then it'll take about 2 hours in the charging station for you to be able to use it again, or for it to be fully charged up so you could last another 3 hours. So something to be very aware of before purchasing this, and kind of decide what you want to use this for. So if you're just doing activities or commuting, absolutely perfect. But anything other than that, you might want to look elsewhere for a listening device. All right, so now let's talk about how the devices communicate with each other, as well as communicate with your phone, because it's using 2 different methods. The way that it communicates with your phone is through Bluetooth, but the way that it communicates with each other is, I believe, radio frequencies. So it doesn't use Bluetooth, because Bluetooth doesn't necessarily work too well if it doesn't have a constant line of sight. And with the way that they're orientated, right up, like basically right in your ears, the Bluetooth would have to travel in your head. And as the developers developed this product, they noticed that that isn't a viable option. So they had to introduce a new method in order for the devices to connect with each other. But as far as connecting to your phone, it is able to connect through Bluetooth, but that's also something to be aware of, that depending on where your phone is, can affect the connection and the quality that you're going to get when you're using this product. Now, in the past, there's been plenty of reviews of the black versions, because the black versions came out about 6 months ago. People who had the older firmwares complained that there was a lot of connectivity issues when they're using the device to stream. So if you're out running and you have your phone on you, or you're holding your phone, you could possibly have connection issues. And the way that you want to think about these earbuds is that these are 2 separate devices. These are 2 separate Bluetooth devices. The left one will connect to your phone in order to connect through the application to keep track of all your activity, your heart rate, and all that stuff. Whereas the right earpiece, this is connected to your phone in order to stream music and stream audio. So something to be very aware of, that these are 2 separate devices. And if you look at your Bluetooth devices, there'll be 2 different dashes there for you to select. So that's because they're 2 different devices setting 2 different Bluetooth frequencies. And one thing I noticed as I was playing around with this, just kind of walking around, is if I had my phone in my left pocket as I'm trying to stream music, I will have a lot of connection issues where it'll stop, drop the signal, and then start playing again. Whereas if I had the phone on my right side, the signal is actually stronger. And that's because, like I just explained, the right earpiece is for streaming music. So when you're using this device, you may want to consider using it with a backpack or a camel pack, just to kind of keep it a little bit elevated away from your body, or maybe a fanny pack. One of those little waist packs you could put to the side. I'm not sure if anyone actually uses those, but that could be something that you could use to ensure that the phone isn't right against your thigh or somewhere right against your body. Because as I was messing around with the phone, if I place my phone right next to my hip as I'm standing up, like the screen right next to my body, it will lose connection, even if I do that on the right side. But if I leave it a little bit elevated, a little bit out away from my body, it's able to maintain connection fairly easily. It's a lot more stable on the right side than it is on the left. And if you use one of those armbands where you set your phone right against your arm, if you place your phone on the left side, you're going to get some connection issues. At least I did with my iPhone 5S. But if you put your phone right against your body on the right side, because it just connects right here, it doesn't really have any connection issues that I noticed. So something to be aware of if you plan on using this. And if you are noticing some connection issues, it could be all based on how you have your phone orientated to yourself. So something to be aware of to alleviate those connection issues that are plaguing this device and what a lot of people are complaining about. Now, as far as the music that it's able to play everything from your phone. It just basically streams to the device. But let's say you're doing an activity where you can't necessarily bring your phone, or something that you can't really place your phone in a convenient location for you to stream music effectively. There's 4 gigabytes of storage on the device itself that could hold about 1,000 songs in either AAC or MP3 format. So again, the format's not the greatest in order to really listen to the detailed audio, but this isn't necessarily something for audiophiles. This is just for someone who wants to be active and also listen to their music so they're not completely bored when they're doing their activity. So the storage of the device itself can be used to alleviate any sort of connection problems, but then you have to always be mindful that, you know, you're not going to be able to have as full functionality. I mean, you could do stop, play, fast forward, rewind, next song, previous song, things like that. But it's not going to be as robust as be able to navigate on your phone itself. But that will be something for if you are swimming, or just basically, like I said, do an activity where you're not going to be near your phone, and so you just want to load the songs right directly to your device so that you don't necessarily have to worry about anything. And 1,000 songs should be plenty of songs just to kind of get through whatever you're trying to do, especially because you're only going to be able to listen to these for 3 hours at a time. Now let's move on to a really amazing feature of these. These are waterproof. As you could probably already know that you're able to swim with these, well, these have to be waterproof to a certain amount. And these are rated to be waterproof up to 1 meter or about 3 feet. So if you're using these in a pool, you might want to be very concerned with these and be very concerned that they might fall out. I've seen another review on YouTube of someone who's very active who was actually in the pool testing these, and they actually fell out where he was able to catch it, but they fell out because I guess just the water kind of got in there and it kind of loosened up the grip to his ear. So you want to ensure that if you are using these, let's say for swimming or even cycling, something that it could like fall off and it's not easy to easily retrieve, you might want to go with like a earpiece that's a little bit higher, like a little bit larger, because as you see, it has like this earpiece right here, and this earpiece is basically able to swap out for different sizes of your ear hole. And you want to maybe like find the one that fits perfectly, but then also just like the next size up just to ensure that your earpiece won't fall out, because it's only rated for 3 feet. So if it falls below that, I'm not sure if it's able to withstand like high pressure or high water pressure. So just something to be aware of to, you know, ensure that your $300 purchase isn't wasted. So now let's move on to the last 2 points that I want to make about this device that may want to steer you to the black version of these instead of the white versions. And that's due to connectivity issues I've had. Now, the white versions here basically had to use a new coat or a new material in order to create that white aesthetic. But because of that, the touch sensitivity of these aren't as responsive as they should be, I feel. Now, when you first connect these and you try to connect it to your phone, you basically have to put these in your ear and then you hold the left side, and that's how you connect it to in order to connect to the device. And then you have to hold the right side in order to connect to the phone. And what I've noticed is that as I press to hold, nothing would happen. I'll have to like kind of keep pressing until it finally registers that I'm trying to press it, and then try to put my finger on their hold in order for it to actually connect with the phone. And so that was something that I found that is decently annoying. Now, as far as swiping, because there's 2 different things. You tap it, you hold it, and then you swipe in order to do the functions that you need to do in order to control the device. Swiping works pretty much perfectly. That has no issue. And tapping usually works. You just have to maybe like tap it a few times just to be able to get it to register. But then as far as holding, you basically push and hold, and that doesn't necessarily work all the time. So that's something that I found that's slightly frustrating. That may also frustrate some of you guys, especially if you paid $300 for this. It should work all the time. I mean, that's a hefty price to pay for something that is a little bit finicky like that, but just something to be aware of, that the white versions has that issue where the black versions may or may not have that issue. I haven't personally tested them, but it's something that I read. Now, as far as how it connects to your phone, I've had a issue earlier today where my phone had an update available for the software, and as I was trying to connect this with the Bluetooth of my phone, it wasn't connecting for some odd reason. Like, I kept trying over and over again. I turned off my phone, turned it back on. But if you're having connection issues where the device isn't connecting to your phone, you may want to just update the firmware on your phone, and then that might resolve your issues. At least that's what resolved it for me. So just a little tip for you guys: if you do purchase this and you're running into that issue, that's something that could solve that problem, because as I Googled the issue, I didn't really see anything directing me to do so. I was just looking at my phone and noticed that there was an update available. I updated, and then everything was good to go. So that's my video review of these earbuds. Like $300 for these could buy you a really nice set of cans. But also the set of cans are not as nice as far as all the features that, these provide in such a little device. I mean, these stay in my ear perfectly fine. I could shake my head and like they don't fall out, like, I mean, I look stupid doing that, but I'm just trying to enforce the idea that, these stay in your ear. Now, one thing I noticed is, like, after a long time, like, I'm not really used to having something like shoved in my ear. So it creates a little bit of uncomfort, like itchiness in my ear. So that's something to be aware of. But, for what it is, it's a fantastic product. Like, I think these are super cool. And I could possibly see myself purchasing these in the future if I actually start getting active, or if I move to a large metropolitan city where I would be on the move and commuting frequently. These are like the perfect commuting earbuds, but they are also expensive. So anyways, that's it for the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I do greatly appreciate all feedback. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys again in the next one. All right, bye.